Okay, now when you're dealing with something like strings and lists, maybe for the first time when you start dealing with lists, you'll keep hearing, Peter used to say this all the time, that lists are mutable. And I think at the beginning I just learned it like parrot phrase, you know, it's mutable, but I didn't really understand what it meant. But as you start to work with this, you start to realize how important it is to actually know that there's a distinction between something that is mutable and something that is not, especially for when you start doing stuff to the list and you expect that it's going to do a certain thing or that you've changed something, and then you realize that in actual fact, what's printing out to your screen is not a very good indication of what is going on in the background, and it can cause errors. So we're going to go over this again. Lists are mutable, which means that lists can be changed by adding or removing or swapping out elements within that list. So mutability is a nerdy way of saying that you can change what is stored in that variable name without changing the variable name. And this I'm going to show an example afterwards that's going to show you exactly why we need to know this and why we need to be careful with this, because strings that we worked with were not mutable. You might remember that when we created a variable, let's say for example, a is equal to 5, and we print that, it would print out 5. When we then say a is equal to 6, it will print out 6 because a now holds the value 6. We've effectively changed the variable a is equal to 5 into a is equal to 6. But now the thing is, it may seem like you've just swapped out the 5 with the 6. But that's not actually what you did. You actually created something completely new. Whereas with lists, if you change something in it, then the variable name is exactly the same as it was. You add, remove, you do something to that list, and you're actually still working with the same list. I will show an example of that just to make it a bit clear, and then I'm going to also show you why it's important that you need to know that lists are mutable and strings are not. Okay, so for adding things to lists, you have this method called .append. And .append allows you, it takes an argument, one argument. You will see if you try to add multiple, it will say it takes exactly one argument and you've given whatever amount. It always adds your new element to the end of your list, or it becomes item element -1. So here, for example, we're just printing again, this was your original list containing 4 snips. I just want to print this list and then print the length of the list, which is 4. So let's say you are this brilliant scientist now, which I know you guys are, and in your research you discover a new snip, right? It's present in like 1% of a certain population, and you name it RS9999 because that's your favorite number. Because you're Chinese, maybe. For those of you who don't know, it's a lucky number to the Chinese. So you call it RS, and you want to add this to the list. You would then just use your original list, which is this participant 1 snips, and you would use .append, and you add your RS9999 to that list. If you then print this again, you will see that it has added it, and your list is now length 5. So here because it's mutable, you've actually changed what is stored in that list. You haven't created anything new. This hasn't changed. You've just added this part. And again, like I'm saying, it might not seem like anything significant to you now, and what I'm saying might go over your head, but you'll see in just a bit why I'm talking about the mutability all the time.